Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we finally got our Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, and everyone's been reacting to it and losing their minds, but there is one little sticking point that has some people concerned. So we're going to go ahead and play this little clip here from the trailer, and we'll go ahead and talk about it. So let's go ahead and play this.
The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
Okay, so this right here, this is Sasha Banks, the WWE wrestler, and I don't watch wrestling. I don't know anything about that, but that's who that is, right? Now, first off, some people had this confused with Rosario Dawson. They thought that was Rosario Dawson there, which I guess, to be fair, she's in a hood and the scene goes by really quickly. There's people walking past her, so I guess you can understand why in their minds they're thinking, oh, Rosario Dawson is in this show and there's a mysterious lady in the trailer. So I guess I can understand why some people immediately thought that that was her. So okay. The other thing is that, as I mentioned in my breakdown of the trailer, Sasha Banks for a while now has been rumored that people, or at least people have been thinking that she's going to be playing Sabine Wren, because we knew that Sasha Banks was in this show, but she does not have we don't know what her character is. She had no character assigned to her, publicly. We don't know what it is. But we also know that Sabine Wren is in this show as well, the character, and we don't know what actor would play her. So a lot of people just kind of put two and two together and say, like, okay, well, Sasha Banks is playing Sabine Wren. And I think a lot of this came from the fact that, there's probably plenty of pictures out there where I think she has purple hair, and Sabine Wren sometimes had purple hair. So it's kind of a thing where it's like, okay, they kind of look similar, and she dyes her hair a lot in her wrestling thing, and there you go, Sabine Wren, right? But a lot of people on Twitter have since pointed out that, hey, Sabine Wren is supposed to be an Asian character, and I know some people's immediate defense will say, hey, the Star Wars universe doesn't have the country of Asia. Look, clearly some characters are coded as being from certain races or certain cultures or something like that, right? And Sabine Wren, if you look at her family, if you look at the way it's animated, and this has been confirmed by the creators, she was coded as an Asian character. Okay, so a lot of people kind of got concerned, like, if this Sasha Banks thing is true, then that is a little messed up, that, like, okay, you're just ignoring the Asian aspect of it, because Sasha Banks is not Asian at all. So that's a concern for some people, right? And I understand that. So let's throw out the idea that she's Sabine Wren then. Let's throw that out the window, say, okay, she's not Sabine, right? If she's not Sabine, now we need to kind of try to understand who she might be. And I think in order to do that better, we need to actually listen to this clip again from the trailer, because the trailer kind of sets this scene up with some context with the narration from, the audio from season 1. That was the, what was her name? The Forger, whatever her name was. Her narration kind of provides some context for what we just saw. So let's listen to this again.
The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
Okay, so clearly, clearly the trailer kind of sets it up and immediately cuts to her as soon as they say the sorcerers of eons past called Jedi, and she's wearing a hood. So I think to the main audience, the common audience who might be watching The Mandalorian, general audiences might say, oh, well, then that's a Jedi, right? She's wearing a hood, they said Jedi. They're putting two to two together like that. Now, obviously, this could be a misdirection from the trailer. Trailers do that all the time. This could be a very easy misdirect, because a lot of people in Star Wars wear hoods, so this doesn't really mean that she's a Jedi. It could just be a thing that the trailer is doing, to kind of mess with people. But that is an option. She could be a Jedi, right? It's possible. Now, do I think it's likely that she's a Jedi that we've never heard of? Probably not. I think that the only Jedi you have on hand would be Ezra, Ahsoka, or Luke. Also, if you can hear the wind outside, I am in the middle of a hurricane, so apologies for that if you can hear that. Anyways, so I don't think that they would introduce another Jedi that we haven't heard of. I also hear some people mentioning a character from the comics that I haven't kept up with. I need to catch up on the comics, but there is some other Jedi character, but she has like white hair, and I don't think this person has white hair. I don't think that's that character either. My other option is that this could be a dark side user or even an Inquisitor, because the thing about Inquisitors is that we don't know how many there were, and they've left that very open-ended, probably on purpose. That way, at any point in time, they could just pull out a new character and say, look, it's an Inquisitor, you know? And also, there's even been hints by Giancarlo Esposito himself that Moff Gideon might have some Force powers. You know, so the idea of him being an Inquisitor has been thrown around. So if he has an underling that's also a dark side user / Inquisitor type character, that would make a lot of sense. Also because, you know, they're hunting a Force sensitive child, that makes a lot of sense to send an Inquisitor after that, right? Like, that's kind of their thing. That's what they do. So I think that makes a lot of sense. That's a good option. Another option, of course, is that this is simply another bounty hunter. That this is just another bounty hunter that's looking for the child. Of course, that's always possible. Although I will say, the way that this trailer kind of focused around her, and she, you know, she doesn't have... Usually all the bounty hunters we see have, like, guns and ammo straps on them and all kinds of armor and gear and stuff. She's just like a shadowy figure in a hood and then mystically disappears. So I want to say that the way that the trailer framed this scene definitely doesn't seem like she's a bounty hunter or someone who uses guns. It definitely seems more of like a mysterious character than that. So I will leave it at this. It is still possible that she's Sabine, and I know a lot of people would be disappointed in that, but it's possible. And if that's what they did, then, you know, you can be disappointed in it, but we can't change what they did. That's what they did. But also, if she's an Inquisitor or Darkside user or disciple of Moff Gideon of some kind, that's also an interesting route they can take, because you can do this whole other aspect where, for example, Din Djarin, his whole mission this season is to find Baby Yoda's home, right? And some people have interpreted that to mean, oh, they're going to go to a planet full of Yodas, which I don't think that they're going to do that. I think he's going to be looking for Force sensitives or Jedi, which he doesn't know a lot about, and he's gonna try to like give the child to them and be like, hey, you're a Jedi, you're a Force sensitive, you know what to do with this kid, you can keep him safe, you know, you can teach him your ways. And I think like what's gonna end up happening, which would be the most interesting route to take, would be that he runs into a dark side user and doesn't realize that that's not a Jedi, because he doesn't know anything about Jedi. All he knows is the magic stuff that he does with the hands. So to him, he'd be like, oh, you're a Force user, here, take this kid. And then it would turn out like, oh, it's a bad guy, and now he has to go back and take the kid away from the Force user, you know, the Inquisitor or whatever. And I feel like that would be a really exciting kind of trap for Din Djarin to fall into, because he basically would have to learn about the Jedi and the Sith and the Inquisitors, and he'd have to learn all of this history in order to understand. Like, he can't just give this to the first Force user that he meets. He has to literally find the right person, who I think in the end will end up being Ahsoka. I think, you know, I'm going wild guessing now. I think by the end of the season, or maybe the series, by the end of the series, the child will end up in the hands of Ahsoka or Ezra, or, you know, somewhere along those lines. Anyways, so that's what I think is going to end up happening. If I had my guess, if I think what's going to end up happening is that she's going to end up being some sort of dark Force using Inquisitor, or someone who works for an Inquisitor, and basically trick Din Djarin and be like, oh yeah, I can use the Force, I can definitely teach this kid all kinds of Force stuff, but she's actually evil, you know. Or it is just Sabine Wren, which, again, that's possible. I know people will be disappointed, but it's still possible that it happens. So anyways, that is our mysterious character that is played by Sasha Banks that no one knows. You know, and given all the leaks that we have, this is still one of the leaks that we don't you know, it's still like the less confirmed thing. We knew Sasha Banks was here, and we know Sabine Wren is somewhere in the show, but it's actually not in the leaks that those two are connected. It's just a thing that people kind of assumed. So anyways, let me know what you think. Who do you think that this could be? Would you be happy if this was an Inquisitor? Or do you think it's just another bounty hunter and it's just going to be some new character and it's like, okay, they're a bounty hunter and then that's it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.